Are we both shirtless?
Yeah.
Can't both be shirtless no, that's no.
Great minds think alike, man.
Yeah, who would have ever thought about the fact of like not wearing a shirt? That is far out. All right, dude. So I just like I randomly sat down and I was working on a song, and then I was trying to make sure that like I was archiving things properly. So I was like, okay, I have a responsibility.
Cyprin, quiet a little bit. Too
I have
loud.
a
Quiet a little bit.
I have a responsibility to like make sure like because when I do these things with you, it records to the cloud, and then I have to take the effort to go and like download it, put it on the hard drive just to make sure, and then I have to organize it so it doesn't just get lost with a bunch of other stuff. And in this process, I was like, man, there's like three or four of these that we've done that I haven't saved like to a hard disk, and
Hmm.
this most recent one when I was watching it, you know that thing that I brought up to you about like you should send me a sample. And as I was watching that, I was like, oh fuck, this is the sample. This is the sample. So I went far out there and just like a couple of hours now. Uh, it's also a break from my main like train of thought creatively. So I'm gonna send you this, but I don't know if do you have headphones or anything like that? Like, because I think you need
Yeah,
to actually.
on my computer. Yeah, I got my headset and shit,
No, but
headphones and shit.
I think you need to hear this now, but with headphones.
What?
Or not. Maybe you don't need headphones, but you should listen after this with headphones. It might
Oh,
work
yeah, yeah,
fine.
I can.
But are you in an environment where you can listen to it even on a speaker?
Yeah.
All right, because I know Clinton Jr. over there is he's got his own thing going on. All right, here we go. Uh, this is gonna take you on a little journey, man. That's all I'm gonna say. It's taking you on a little journey.
What is
Uh,
it?
yeah, you're about to find out.
You want me to do it now, or did you want me to wait?
Yeah, no, I want to watch you listen to it, but and like, and you can
Let me
pause it or whatever, like, do your
let
thing.
me
But
let me go on. I'll do it on my computer here, so I can have
yeah,
my
that's better.
headset on, so I can hear it.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I want to listen to it at the same time, though. So I'm thinking like maybe we
Oh,
should
yeah,
both
yeah,
press
yeah.
play.
Okay.
Maybe we should both press play at the same time. Because I'm actually like, in some ways, it's like it takes you on a journey where I surprise myself with it. So like I've listened to it
Yeah.
a few times, and I was mediating between I wanted to send you something early, but then I knew that there were some changes I could make to make it better. But now I think it's like, all right, I don't have any more time for this, and it is what it
Right.
is, and it's a little existing artifact of hilariousness.
Right in my underwear.
That's fine, dude. I'm in merch pants that I made simply so I could avoid taxes. Check it out. Look at what I'm wearing. Do you see this?
Shit. Is that Laura Cash? Oh my god! And you got like characters.
So I'm making merch that so this is one of my tricks is like I make merch that I want to actually wear, and then it also forces me to create designs, but then it also becomes a company expense. You see what I'm saying? So I can use pre-tax money to buy my own merch to wear the
Right.
clothes. Yeah. So it's all a big tax avoidance scheme. But it also forces you to be creative. It's quite fun, actually. All right,
Go, bro's got the Swedish tax evasion. Okay.
bro, if you lived in Sweden, you'd know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's actually cheaper in a lot of ways than America. That's what people don't realize. Like the groceries and stuff, like since we were back there, I was like, oh my God, everybody used to say Scandinavia was so expensive. It's cheaper than
Right.
America nowadays, brother. Which is
No
pretty
shit,
creepy.
huh?
Pretty creepy. You know,
Huh.
that's not a good sign.
Well, how much?
We're the world's
Right.
superpower. We should have the cheapest
Well,
fucking shit.
how much is stuff there right now?
I mean, a lot of
Like
stuff.
say
Like
eggs or
name
milk or
something.
something like that. Like eggs or milk. How
Uh,
many?
I would say
How much?
I can get like if you're going for the basic most basic eggs, like
Just like two.
we usually buy organic, which there's way more
Yeah.
options here for that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they call it ecological, but it's the same thing. It's
Okay.
organic. Uh, um, but if you just go for like the base egg, you don't care if they're free range, you don't care if they're outside. Like even if we don't get organic, we buy like where it's been outside, free range, whatever, just because you try to not support the cruelty stuff so much. But
Fair enough. Yeah.
but in America, so like for the base egg, I would say like any given day you could probably get like a 12 pack of eggs for I don't know, $2 or $3.
Okay. Yeah, because I think, yeah, at one point I think they are. Um, they used to be like cheap here, but for like a dozen eggs or 12 eggs, yeah, I think it's gone quite a bit.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Um,
It's retarded.
all right. Cat history pin. Looking
Oh yeah,
yourself.
we're trying to do the song thing, yeah, or whatever you want to call it, a
Oh, did you?
masterpiece. You can call it a masterpiece, or you can call it a song. I mean, whatever you want to call it. Uh, hold
Look at
on,
my
I
janky. Look at, dude. The this is just like a game headset, or like a place or the PlayStation one. The
yeah.
freaking the piece has like come off, and it doesn't actually like
Well,
stay
that's
on, but it works fine. Anyways,
as long as it works. You look like you're a fucking flat. You know what, dude? This is like I feel like I'm looking at like the future of what is it? The people in the towers that have to land the planes. I'm just imagining.
ground zero. So you sent. Oh, that's the Zoom. My bad. All right.
But
Is
we
this
need
a?
to press play at roughly the same time, and then we
All
listen
right,
all the
let
way through.
me. I'm clicking on it, and then I'll. All right.
We got to do like a 3, 2, 1 or something.
Okay, I am ready to click play whenever you are. How much is
Okay.
it? How much of a delay do we
It
have?
doesn't
Not too
really
much.
matter. It'll be a micro fraction if we just say if we
Yeah,
say
yeah.
on three, not after
Yeah.
three. Like so, it's
Right.
1, 2, bam.
Two. Yep, got it. All
All
right.
right, ready?
One,
One,
two,
two,
three.
bam.
Oh shit! Hold on, I gotta turn my headset on. Start over. I
Damn it.
forgot to turn my headset on like a retard.
Yeah, well, that is pretty. That's an amateur
Okay.
move, bro.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
I think my phone's on. All right. One,
2,
two,
3. You know what's funny? One time we should do as an like just for a fun thing, but I can't promise a timeline because I work very slowly. But you should send me like an audio sample where it's like you want me to put it into a mix. And I will create a little song where whatever you send me, but I will need time. It might happen like you
Bro,
might send me
that would be hilarious.
I'm just warning
are
you though,
gonna
you
do
might
it like
send me something and then I send you
what
something
kind
back
of
5 years later. Just saying 5
what
years
kind
later.
of snippet do you want?
No, but I'm
Like, do
saying
you want-
whatever. I'm saying you'll know when the snippet comes. And now is not the time because I'm not recording, you're not recording. I mean, I am recording this conversation, but I'm not going to go back to this and sample this. I'm saying one day.
Ground zero to Major Tom. It's not ground zero. What is it? I know it's not ground zero to Major
Oh my
Tom.
God.
That doesn't make any sense because they're up in the
It's
air.
got, like,
Ground zero.
it reminds me of like.
Actually, that's kind of a nice twist, though. It gives it a little bit of like a updated sci-fi twist, right? Like now it's not just now the station's it's fucked. So now it's ground
Yep.
zero, and Major Tom's
Yep.
still floating around up there. It's like Major Tom.
Major Tom's just running around aimlessly.
Guys, somebody there? Guys,
I'm thinking ground zero to Major Billy.
guys,
Now he's responding.
guys,
So he's sitting there and he said he's in Duluth at a club, like a nightclub, whatever, bar club. He calls it a club, and I'm assuming he was at a club because there's a difference, right? So he's like, oh, I'm at this. I'm sitting here. No, I'm just, but yeah, I'm actually. He was at this club in Duluth,
Yeah.
and he said he was sitting there. He was, by himself or whatever. And he went to the club. He had gotten a couple drinks or had gotten a drink, and he went to sit down at I don't know if he was at the bar or if he sat down somewhere in the bar or whatever. Regardless, anyways, he went to sit down. He was sitting down for a bit, drinking his beer, and he said this random chick like walked by him and then like turned around and like turned to him and she's like, "Do you want a blowjob?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, you know, whatever." And so like, they go outside or whatever into her pickup that she had, and she just gave him this random blowjob, and then like they finished, and she was all like, "Hey, so you're coming back, right?" And Billy's like, "Yeah, I'll probably come back, yeah, whatever." And so he told her, "Yeah, I'm coming back, whatever." And she's like, "Oh, okay." He never got her number, never got any contact information from her, nothing. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be back." Of course, he never went back. He never went back. He never went back. You're coming back, right? He never went back. You're coming back, right? He never went back. 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 He never went back.
Number 8 actually happened, unfortunately.
Bro,
Oh,
how did you?
oh
That
my
is like,
God. Oh my God, dude. You
that's
like
great.
listening to it with you at the same time unlocked so much funniness to me that I was like repressing while I was doing it that I almost panicked because I couldn't breathe. Like that's how funny it suddenly was just because I knew you were also listening to it. Holy shit. For some reason that just like, oh my God. It hits every level for me on like a weird.
Dude, that was like the music was the greatest thing ever in that whole.
No, but I'm saying like just think about that whole thing. It's basically like what the fuck is the point of this thing? It's something there's something in it though. It's like Major Tom turns into Major Billy and then it becomes this like weird like nightclub scene where it's like you tell this story. So fucking random, dude. I just love it though. I realize you can actually like basically score conversations. You know what I mean? Like, you know, if you
Oh,
set music to any conversation and then like chop it up and
but
make.
like the music you did was like just like perfectly spot on, like the beat and everything, like what you had going on. That was actually it, it had such it was that what's that old it's that old jazzy
Yeah.
song. You know which one I'm talking. That really popular one where you had it sounded like it had. Oh my God! It was. I can't remember what that song is. It's the beat.
The thing is, I think you're losing sight of the fact that it is just as a piece. Like,
That was just
imagine, forget the music thing. Just think about the
okay.
thing
Okay.
as a
Okay.
whole. Imagine if you're a random person out in the world and somebody's like, bro, check out this song. It
That's what
challenges the very notion of a song. And I'm saying, like, what does it actually communicate? Like, if I'm a random person who doesn't get our inside jokes, doesn't understand any of this, doesn't know who Billy Fletcher is, and I purposely I cut out all the parts where we actually say Matt Lawley and Billy Fletcher. So it's like we get
Right.
Major Billy so we know. What
Right.
do you think about like when you come across this, do you understand it as a piece of like satire or like parody, or do you think like, is this a serious work of art? Like, what is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or do you go like, oh, I'm in their world, I get their humor, like, yeah, this is weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, how does a random person react? If you put this out in the world, how the fuck does it get reacted to?
It, it is like the perfect intro to like like the start of like it's just relatable on every level, I think, to be honest. Because I think when you like if I'm coming and being like some random person, it very much comes off as like satire, I think, but maybe that's just because I know that, I feel because it really is, but it's just like a relatable piece that you could like throw up as an intro to like a podcast, like
You
an
could. It would be a
introduction.
long intro, but
Right, yeah, but like just the like when you're sitting, yeah, I don't know, it's just relatable.
yeah, but you could probably clip it into like whatever. But um,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's just kind of fun. Like it makes me realize that it's actually an overwhelming feeling. Again, this is why I hate these kind of things because it's like then you realize like, oh, technically I could turn a whole bunch of things like you could take a lot of conversations and turn them into like that's something that doesn't really exist, where like people post like segments of conversations that they've had that they then like score the conversation. So you can see that that could be like a niche, but it's so like overwhelming to think about. Okay, so now I got to start sifting through a bunch of audio files or conversations and start sampling people's conversation. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's cool, but it's also you realize the potential is so vast with something like that that it almost becomes overwhelming, because you'd almost have to spend all of your time trying to explore this new like medium or whatever.
just
Anyway,
medium of genre of music.
yeah, it's a genre of like score. That's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is like scoring like reality, like where you're just like because people scroll, they watch YouTube videos, and then it's like if you record yourself, like if you're watching like a 2 hour long podcast, you could actually score the podcast while it's happening because you're also reacting to it, and then it comes out musically. It's sort of in that same vein of like real conversations can make interesting material to like you start to understand an underlying subtext. Like there's like a what do you call it? Like there's a theme that we didn't notice while we were talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like when you're talking
Hmm.
about the Major Tom thing, like when you actually break it down and you start editing it, you're like, oh, but there's like a symbolic theme here. It's like we go from Major Tom and this idea of like, and then that whole thing of like, what did you say? Ground Zero. That was part of the joke,
Hmm.
which is because it's not ground.
Right.
So then there's also like
Exactly.
a commentary in this whole piece contains a commentary about Ground Zero as a departure from the original lyric that we were trying to quote. So it's like there's something about Ground Zero baked into this whole thing that is kind of like an underlying serious subtext, you know? Does that make sense? Or it's like if you were thinking about what this thing communicates, a lot of people are going to be thinking grounds. I've never heard that before. Ground Zero from Major Tom. That's not how it goes. So there's going
Right.
to be a lot of people that are instantly distracted by just that. So you see what I'm saying? Like, and then they have to think like, well, why would they not use the original thing? And they might assume it's something purposeful. It doesn't really matter why
Hmm.
it ended up that way. But in any case, I'm giving you this is a stoned ramble.
Oh, you're fine. I figured,
Yeah, yeah.
but I
Realizing
don't know.
that, but it was
It was
coherent at least.
that was actually freaking. I don't know. I got kind of I getting chills from it now a little bit thinking about it. Like I got a few little chills. It just that was really interesting, but like really cool.
Well, I'm just thinking like
I just really loved every like thing um that you did with it. Like that was freaking like that was really cool. Like there's like so much artistry behind it, because with your changes of like just with the music itself and then the conversation and then how it like you cut out these certain pieces, right? But it all segues, together. But it's the music behind it that's driving the satire and it's driving the conversation. And it, like you said, it's setting that theme. It puts like some sort of. I know I lost my train of thought.
no, but I
Music is
hear you.
perfect for it. Like like the setting and like the music behind it. Because then I add like or I talk about the club, and then like as soon as I mention that, the music changes
Yeah.
into this like classic Like I feel like I'm sitting in like a classic jazz club and somebody's just having this conversation, and it's just some one-off thing, but the music, it just makes it really fucking funny.
I agree. But it's like
something. If I were to run across this randomly somewhere on the internet, I don't know.
I know, but that's the thing. It's like, of course,
cool.
you would get it.
Yeah.
But it's like, how, like you got to think like, okay, if here's a good exercise. What if your mom or your sister?
Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Hold your thought right now. 1 second.
Yeah.
No heirloom yet, boys.
It's like thinking about the first one. Oh yeah, he's so nice. My phone was the look player.
Why am I on altar?
But it's the most horrendous thing. Most frustrating thing to go
Show your bitch ass like this.
You never experienced. Oh,
Veronica was just here, and I was gonna have her come in and listen, but I'll have my mom listen.
Hold
I want
on,
my mom.
I can't hear anything. What's that?
Oh, I said Veronica. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I said Veronica was here. I wanted to have.
Sounds like fucking guy deal.
I wanted to have Veronica listen to it.
What? You're
Hello, Johnny.
I'll have my mom listen to it. Should we have her listen to it?
Yeah, why not? But just to understand, like, that it is also just, this is not, I'm not trying to accomplish anything. This is an inside joke, essentially. So that's all we have to think.
If it's music, I'm an expert, so.
Well,
Okay.
you could call it that.
I'm really fussy about music. I will critique the shit out of it.
It's not what
It's
you
not
think
like,
it is.
it's not like that, exactly.
I know, I'm kidding. Okay, go.
No, but actually, I feel you on that. That's totally
Okay, dude.
valid.
Put the headset on and just.
And listen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in at the same time as her, though.
Oh, okay.
That's not shitty.
Let me know.
Yeah, it's old. Are you want to do the
I'm
one,
ready.
two? Are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3.
You know what's funny? One time we should do as in like just for a fun thing, but I can't promise a timeline because I'm really I
Right.
work very slowly. But you should send me like an audio sample where it's like you want me to put it into a mix. And I will create a little song where whatever you send me, but I will need time. It might happen like you
Bro,
might send me
that would be hilarious.
I'm just warning
are
you though,
gonna
you
do
might
it, like-
send me something and then I send you
What
something
kind
back
of-
5 years later. Just saying 5 years
What
later.
kind of snippet do you want?
No, but I'm
Like,
saying
you want-
whatever. I'm saying you'll know when the snippet comes, and now is not the time because I'm not recording. You're not recording. I mean, I am recording this conversation, but I'm not going to go back to this and sample this. I'm saying one day. just
Ground
send-
zero to Major Tom. It's not ground zero. What is it? I know it's not ground zero to Major Tom because that doesn't make any sense because they're up in the air.
Ground zero. Actually, that's kind of a nice twist, though. It gives it a little bit of like a updated sci-fi twist, right? Like now it's not just now the station's it's fucked. So now it's ground
Yep.
zero, and Major Tom's
Yep.
still floating around up there. And it's like Major Tom.
Major Tom's just running around aimlessly.
Guys! 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 Somebody there? Guys! 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 Guys!
I'm thinking ground zero to Major Billy.
Guys! Guys!
Now he's
Guys.
responding.
Guys! 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 Guys!
So he's sitting there and he said he's in Duluth at a club, like a nightclub, whatever, bar club. He calls it a club, and I'm assuming he was at a club because there's a difference, right? So he's like, oh, I'm at this. God, I'm just like, seriously, I'm sitting here. No, I'm just, but yeah, I'm actually. He was at this club in Duluth,
Yeah.
and he said he was sitting there. He was, by himself or whatever, and he went to the club. He had gotten a couple drinks or had gotten a drink, and he went to sit down at. I don't know if he was at the bar or if he sat down somewhere in the bar or whatever, regardless. Anyways, he went to sit down. He was sitting down for a bit, drinking his beer, and he said this random chick, walked by him and then, turned around and, turned to him, and she's like, do you want a blowjob?
Yoshi,
And he's like,
guys, guys,
well,
Yoshi,
yeah, you know,
guys,
whatever.
guys,
And so like they go
guys,
outside or whatever
Yoshi, guys,
into
guys,
her pickup
Yoshi,
that she had,
guys,
and she just
Yoshi,
gave him this
guys,
random blowjob, and then like they finished, and she was all like, "Hey, so you're coming back, right?" And Billy's like, "Yeah, sure, I'll probably come back here, whatever." And so he told her, "Yeah, I'm coming back, whatever." And she's like, oh, "Okay." He never got her number, never got any contact information from her, nothing. He's like, "Yeah, I'll be back."
Yoshi,
Of course, he never went back.
Yoshi,
He never went back.
Yoshi,
He never went back.
Yoshi,
You're coming back, right?
Yoshi,
He never went back.
Yoshi,
You're coming back, right?
Yoshi,
He never went back.
Yoshi, Yoshi,
He never went back.
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 Yoshi, guys.
Oh my god. I don't know why that makes me laugh so much now. Like,
I couldn't hear it, you know, because you had the headset on, so it was
Yeah.
playing through that. But I could just hear the guys, just ringing through my head.
Guys.
oh my god,
Yeah.
dude.
We got Major Billy running around. Guys, is that what it's supposed to be? Running around, Billy running around. Guys.
Yeah.
Exactly. We get
You
a
make
very
it about-
vivid picture of Billy Fletcher as seen through our, or at least Clinton's lens.
Telling his stories.
oh
my God.
Yeah.
Now you need a Matt Lawley's story. You need Matt Lawley's story of telling you that Billy's stories are true.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
what Matt Lawley says.
Poor Cole's got a whole rabbit hole to go down now with Molly.
Because remember last time we were talking about Billy's shit, and Matt's like, yeah, but most of that stuff's true, man.
Oh,
Remember?
God, that's such a good song right there. That's such a good whatever that was. I don't want to call it a song, but whatever that was. Yes, Matt Lawley would be a perfect. We probably have conversations I could
You
go
could
into
tell
right
that
now.
story about Billy, and then you could be like, and then you could have guys, and then Matt Lawley going, hey man, that stuff's true in Matt Lawley voice.
That's true. That's true. That's actually a good idea. Yeah. Dang it. So I
Matt
wonder if we
Lawley
already
was
have.
layer it in there. Hey, it's true.
It's true. I'm Matt Lawley.
Oh, dude, that's perfect for music because you can like beat it up like on the beat, like Jesus.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, put Matt in there. That'll just top it.
I really wanted Veronica to hear it because she would have absolutely gotten a kick out of that.
I can well send
No,
give it.
I know you would, but
I'm just not as likely to go to like get all excited. Like
yeah, I know Veronica. That's why I said Veronica. That's why I was hoping Veronica was still here because she was earlier over
Yeah.
maybe when we were talking, and she would have been like she's like super like type A personality, and she would have been like, oh my God, guys.
yeah,
You would just be like all over it.
yeah.
I'm gonna-
that's how Veronica is.
Well,
You would love her reaction.
I agreed, but either way, just send her the link. It's fun.
I'll send it to should I send that to Veronica and have her listen to it?
Well, the question is,
Or
should
do
we
you
get
want-
Veronica and Billy on the same call? Two people that don't really know each other at all. Does she know him even?
She knows Billy, yeah.
Does she know
doesn't
him or
really-
know of him?
She knows him.
All right.
Like not like on. She's friends with a lot of people. She's friends with like everybody. But yeah, she
But
knows.
I don't even
him,
know,
knows
like,
him.
is Billy still hanging around? Like, what's he doing? I thought he was
Yeah.
in fucking Thailand all the time.
No, he's
that over?
around still. He actually he was going there again, I think, this year or next year, or I can't remember, but yeah, he's around. He's been around. He was around the other day, and Matt went to go. I think yesterday morning, Matt was supposed to go over and look at a dirt bike Billy's trying to sell him.
I love the fact that he's still doing that. Like he's always got this like he gets a vehicle, he sells a vehicle, gets a vehicle, or sells a vehicle, gets a vehicle, sells it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah, he's
also
on
like
like
when you told me that he was going back to Thailand, do you know what song instantly popped into my head?
what?
I get knocked down and I get up again. Never going to I feel like if that
Yeah.
song does not describe Billy Fletcher, you know, like if we were scoring this conversation, you kind of want that like, I get knocked down and I get... That dude has just been punched in the head so many fucking times, and he still is going back for more, dude. That's impressive.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he was at least that's what he was talking about. And it always seems like it seems like one of those things where it's like if you or I say it, or like if I say it, you'd probably be more apt to actually do it. But Billy's like an actual like more like not really knowing him, you'd be like, oh yeah, sure,
Yeah,
I'm sure you're gonna do that. But he like
that's a very good
chances are he
point.
probably actually would like do it. Like, oh, I'm gonna get back into fighting, and next thing you know, you hear about him 2 years later, and he's doing the fighting thing again. Like,
Yeah,
he'll
yeah,
actually do it instead of just talk about it. He
that's
he
a
is one of
very
those
good
people
point.
like that seem to like actually follow through with stuff he does
Yeah.
say
No,
because he
he's
has
a
so many.
doer, and he's also very
Yeah.
like the thing that we joke about, or that like it stands out in the memory of like him flipping cars all the time, like in terms of
Hmm.
like buying and selling. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty, I mean, that's a very industrious thing to do. That's a dude who's actually, I mean, he's kind of a businessman, basically. He's a businessman who's also a doer. He
Hmm.
actually, even if what he talks about is retarded sometimes, he does what he talks about. Like there is no equivocation. Like the guy, yeah, exactly, like exactly what you're
I
saying. Like
should.
he says I'm gonna do it, and he does it.
Yeah, pretty. He ends up doing it. You
Yeah,
hear about it.
yeah.
It's like oh yeah, I'm gonna thinking about doing this, and it's like, oh okay, Billy. And then a year later, it's like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, and it's like, oh okay,
It's so
and he's
sick.
actually doing it.
Did we ever talk about some of the? I think we did, but we never probably recorded, and probably one forgets. But I don't know if you have like two more minutes. But uh, Billy, did we ever go over this conversation we had about when he was going to visit me in Sweden?
Yes,
Okay.
and he got all like butthurt because like you you just went like MIA, and he's like, oh, I see how it is. I see how you are, and he got all like pissed about it.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking like because I sort of forgot how that went exactly, but 20. Oh, okay. Here's where it went off the rails. Okay, so I've been playing it cool with him. 2014. This is like just a couple years after I met Spressa. He's like, always wanted to check out another country. So always wanted to check out another country. So let me know. He spelled it N-O. Let me know if I can't come. I understand Ibois supposed to check out Italy, but I definitely rather check out Sweden. Would be a lot of cooler. Checking out a country where of my friends live anyways. Have a good night, bro. And I said, sounds good, man. Yeah, I know a little Swedish. Haha, I hear you, man. Question, do you have a passport? Hard to travel overseas without one. Haha, good night, dude. And then he said, I was gonna look into getting one this week. Wasn't
He
trying
probably did.
wasn't trying
'Cause,
to
yeah,
be,
he.
say again?
Oh, sorry. No,
No, but
go
this
ahead.
was in 2014. This was in
Yeah, yeah.
2014. Wasn't he says wasn't trying to be pushy. I just like planning ahead, and I think it takes a few weeks to get one. You would know more than me, Mr. Europe. LOL.
Typical Billy.
And then he goes, "Oh, no." And then 4 years later, like so now it's 2018, he goes, "It's been a while since we chatted, man. Just wanted to let you know I'm happy for you and your wife and your success. Glad you chased your dreams. Heard one of your songs on my favorite
He,
station."
Billy's such a cool guy. He really is, actually.
I do like Billy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not still kind of hilarious at times. And
Right.
it says, LOL, thanks for, this is where it goes off the rails. He says, because I wasn't able to respond.
Mm-hmm.
for whatever reason. It was January, February, March, April 2018. I was probably in the middle of something, whatever. And
Yeah.
then he texts, and then he writes me like a month, less than a month later, and he goes, "LOL, thanks for the response. Anyways, glad you're doing good. Talk to you later." And I said, "Billy, you gotta chill, man. I didn't mean to ignore you. I've been busy and stressed for the last 2 weeks. Forgot to write back. Nothing personal. That being said, I appreciated the kind words, and I'm super thrilled you heard us on Alt Nation. I hope everything is going great for you too. Take care of yourself, brother." He said, "Fair enough, bro. I'm good. Just got back to the States from Thailand. Was fighting over there. Thanks for asking, bro. Hope all is well." And I said, "That's awesome, man. I've always wanted to go to Thailand. Was it over? How was it over there? How did your fights go?" Wait, I just realized, like, wait, I have so much shit that I don't remember that he fucking said. I've done some interviews. I'm going to start posting. Where did we leave off here? I sent him a Zoom link on Sunday. Oh, I was trying to get Billy Fletcher on the call.
Oh yeah.
Dude, we got to get Billy Fletcher on this call, dude.
I
It has
know.
to be done. I really like. I have not interacted with Billy. This partially also
Are
why
you
I'm
saying
gonna,
right
like,
now, or you just mean get him on one?
I mean, I would talk to him right now. It's not that late.
He probably.
But I sent him a Zoom before. I'm thinking, like, do you have more of a? You probably have more direct access to Billy Fletcher these days.
He's on my. I mean, he's on my friends list. He's on Facebook,
Yeah, exactly. But
like you have him.
if you sent him a link to a Zoom
You think
call, you think he'd
right?
click on it?
Depends on if you want me to tell him if I'd be like Cole and I want you on the Zoom call, get on, or do you just want me to say here and just send it to
Yeah,
him
but no,
without
but ask him to get on. Why not?
I know if Matt did it, he would. But we could get both of them on because I know Matt's just sitting around. Oh, Matt actually might be driving. I think he's probably going to Mankato now because he's got to work tomorrow. So he probably left. Actually, he's probably in the middle of driving. But Billy might. I don't know. Do you want me to?
Yeah, try it for, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a long thing. It could just be a.
Let me see here, Billy. His name. Oh yeah. You have him on. William Fletcher. He changed it.
Do you need the Zoom link again, or do you have a?
I have it right here. So let me. Oh shit! You clicked on that again. All right. Let me. Can I post it right here? How do I?
Ground zero to Major Billy. I love that there's a little bit of hesitation in it. Also, it's like, I don't know. Ground zero to Major Billy. It's like
All right. I have
a
the
little bit of
link.
a second guessing in it.
He was active an hour ago.
Oh boy. What do you think he's up to?
We're about to find out. We'll see. It says he's active now.
We can't show him the song, right? Oh my god, bro.
We'll
Oh
see what
my
he
god.
joins.
He would probably love it in a weird way, but at the same time hate it.
Probably actually would.
He'd be like, "Oh my god, guys!" But then he'd be like, "Who's that supposed to be? Whose voice is that supposed to be?" And then you'd have to be like, "No, I'm just saying, like, that's like the narrator's voice." Because he would hear the lisp thing and be like, "That's not, who's that?" Right?
I told him I sent the Zoom link. I said get on the Zoom link, and then like a minute later, I was like, Cole wants to talk to you.
Oh my god, you make it sound so dramatic. Jesus, like, it's like, I gotta talk to Billy, man. That's what, in his mind, he's projecting himself onto me. So he's like, he's imagining himself going like, I have to do that. And it's really not probably that. But hey, if it makes him feel urgent.
Yeah.
Knowing him, he's probably dirt biking or he's actually busy doing something. He always is, it seems like. It's like Billy's like one of those people where, like, unless it's Matt, because him and Matt are actually pretty good friends. Like, whenever Matt is back around town, Billy's always just calling him up right away because he knows. But, like, Billy and I don't really communicate, like unless we're out and I see him, or like if he's already like hanging
Yeah,
out with
yeah.
Matt,
No, I get that.
type of
I
deal.
get that. But here's my question.
I killed one of them.
Bro's got apple brain again, or what?
A little bit. It's also late, it's actually 2 in the morning here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have to be responsible. I have to get out of here. I gotta go to bed. I gotta brush
Alright,
my
I'll
teeth.
just
I gotta
tell.
go to bed. I like, these things. I was just gonna say, like, actually, Alex Gilbertson is kind of reminds me a little bit of Billy. He's got sort of that same sort of thing of like, we talked about him like stealing the car and going to Arizona, but like
Yeah.
that is the move of a doer. I mean, you have to respect it. It's like, here I am fucking, I mean, I go to the most southerly part of the United States that I can head to, and I'm literally willing to commit Grand Theft Auto to do it. I mean, you got to respect that. I mean, it's rolling the dice in a very crazy way, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Billy is kind of a similar character. I would like to see Billy Fletcher, like a good crossover would be Billy Fletcher and Alex Gilbertson on the same Zoom call. Can we make that happen?
That'd probably be impossible because Alex would always have some weird excuse. Even if we got Billy on, Alex, like you said, he conveniently responds when he knows that there's no possible chance of having to talk to anybody face to face.
So he texted me actually later, and he said it would be nice if we could plan these things ahead of time, blah, 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 then it's way more likely I can do it. And I said, well, we have a weird time difference. Like, if I call Clinton, say, at like 10 or 11, that's going to be like 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. his time. That's going to be like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. your time. So it's very hard to coordinate. So I've been relying on like spontaneous whatever. And I said, but since we now have established that, when are you most likely to be free at your time? And he said Mondays and Wednesdays.
So right now, off screen.
So theoretically, if we're gonna get Gilbertson on the line, it's gonna be on a Monday or a Wednesday. So I say we try it. Maybe we
just have to.
if
We
you
just
got
have to
time.
corner him.
But if you have time, I'll throw out like a random Wednesday. It doesn't have to be this one. It could be next Wednesday or whatever, or even whatever.
Yeah, it don't matter. Whenever. I mean, you're the one that you got your stuff going on or whatever. So
Well, no, but
I
I'm
don't
saying
really...
like the time we normally talk is a certain hour for you. So
Oh,
it's like,
yeah.
so let's just say it's like around 4 or 5 your time. If you're good around 4 or 5, 6 your time, then I can tell Alex a certain time on a Wednesday or a Monday and try it out.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm down.
Let's do
Be
it.
interesting to see what little Gilbert has to say.
I know, and I want to see kind of like who he is nowadays.
Yeah.
Like try to pick his brain a little bit. No, but I mean, I want to literally pick his brain, like, because I think he's probably gone through a bunch of character developments, And I'm sort of interesting to, it's, it is interesting to see, like, where's he at in his headspace or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, let's see. And then we get the crossover later. Like, first we get Alex, then we get Billy, and then we get Alex and Billy. And then we start.
And then we get Alex and Billy and Matt.
Oh my God. And then we get Alex, Billy, Matt, and what's that guy that was like my bully, but he was your friend before you got into my graduating class? We were with him on community service. Joe something?
Oh, Joe Leacox?
Yeah, Joe Leacox. Then we got to get Joe Leacox on here, dude.
It would be the most random thing. And then we got to get Zach Knapp.
And we got to get also Justin Clark. We got to get
Um,
Zachary
somehow figure out
on.
getting Michael on there with us,
Get
with
Michael
Zach.
on there. Dude, we could do like a whole thing like this. And it's not like we have to even think about it. We just try to do it. We just like go like, ah, this would be fun. And then we like save up the things and then we figure out what to do later. But like just actually nailing down the material, like where are people that we can think of right now? What are they doing in their lives that, you know, are approximately our age? Kind of a cool idea. I mean, we start simple. We start with the Matt Lawleys. We start with the Weens. We start with the, you know, start with the Billy Fletchers. And then we try to, you know, we try to track down Caleb Brown. I mean, why not sow a little bit of a that wouldn't that
Get
be a
some
great thing? Like if
CIA insider information from that guy.
what happened to Caleb Brown? Where in the world is Caleb Brown? We could do a whole conversation leading up to this where we're like just like this and we're talking about Caleb Brown, all the memories, all the stories, and then we say we're gonna try to get Caleb Brown to talk to us here, and then we go on a whole journey and a whole search, and either we document it or we at least update and say, okay, it's been 2 months, we exhausted every option. Either way,
We've
it works.
exhausted all outlets and options. He is officially CIA.
You know, they got live on TV if you want. It's pretty exciting. It's the Antifa Ice Showdown in Portland.
God,
Oh Jesus.
I know.
wild.
Oh, that's creepy, dude. Did I tell you I did a 64-hour fast?
Yes, you mentioned it. I think I
I
was gonna
think
say
you should
I thought
think
it was
about it.
funny because Veronica was doing a fast too.
I think you should think about it as like because you're pretty competitive. For your own health's sake, if you ever use ChatGPT and stuff like that, this is what I would recommend. Just decide in your mind and go like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever amount of fast, 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever your thing is,
Hmm.
and then ask Chat like, okay, it's I started my fast at 2 p.m. or whatever, or 6 p.m. or whatever. My goal is whatever, and then ask it to like lay out all that everything that is like probably happening in the body at any given time and how much that is like reset like benefiting the system or whatever. So it's basically like it becomes like a coach where you're like, okay, I just started my fast. It's 2 p.m. Like, like let's do this. You know, like kind of talk
Hmm.
to it like a coach, potential coach thing, and like, and then all of a sudden, like when you're feeling hungry at a certain hour, you can be like, okay, it's 5 p.m. You know, Wednesday, and then and it's like I'm feeling this way, and then chat will be like, okay, well now you're like you know 38 hours into your fast. What's happening right now is that you're getting all these ketogens that you've burned. Your liver is operating mostly on, everything's operating mostly on ketones or whatever. Brain is
Right.
like 70 to 80% ketones. Blah blah blah. Your liver is doing like a reset. You know, your body is
Hmm.
repairing that what autophagy. Your body is like recycling old immune cells, blah 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 blah, like all this kind of stuff, and then it kind of keeps you motivated, and you're like, "Fuck, this is good. Yeah, I could probably do it for another 12 hours." And then all of a sudden, 12
Right.
hours later, if you're feeling like, "Ah, fuck, I don't think I can do it,"
Good deal.
and then you go to you know chat just to like have something to do, and you say like, "Okay, now it's 1 a.m. and I'm really tempted to take a snack or whatever," and most likely chat will say something like, "You've already done a great job. Like it wouldn't be the end of the
You're right.
world if that it, but." Here's what's happening now that wasn't happening 12 hours ago. And then you're like, oh my God, like, holy shit, like I'm going to have new
Holy
stem
shit.
cells being regenerated after. The thing is, like, what I'm starting to realize is, like, this is the first time in my life where I ever, I mean, other than something I don't remember as a kid or something, but I don't think
Right.
ever, where I've been in an unfed state for 64 hours. Like, it is a first time in my life. And it's like, after the first
Are you
day, you
are
actually
you
are like, oh,
currently doing it now or no?
no, no, no. No, I'm
I
back
can't.
on the wagon of like
Oh, right.
carbs and beer and blah 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 blah. A little bit, but but
Right.
I keep it modulated or whatever, and I always
Yeah, yeah,
intermittent
yeah.
fast. I usually only eat like one meal a day with some snacks at night or
Oh,
something,
yeah,
but
that's usually what I eat anyways. So
yeah,
a
exactly.
fast wouldn't be entirely too.
Yeah, it's
You
not that
drink water
crazy.
though, right? Is it just like a
Yeah,
liquid,
yeah,
like
and
just
also
water
like
fast?
get a good mineral salt so that you like are, salting up your water. And also when it's tough, like when you're like on day, I think day two in my experience, because I've done this kind of twice now, but the second time was the longest.
Hmm.
Day two is when it like psychologically starts to hit you a little bit. Like it's like the final sort of test. First day is the hardest, I think, and then second day is the second hardest. And what I would recommend is like if you get some like if you boil some water and like
Hmm.
nice salty water, and then almost like drink that as if it were a tea, because like your body's gonna be
Right.
like, oh my, it almost feels like you're having a soup. So that's something I would recommend. Like, first of all, you have to have the minerals and the potassium and sodium and whatever.
Right.
But but also you can like if you warm that up, like if you deliver your electrolytes and all that like in a
What
warm
kind of
way.
salt do I need to put in it? Just
Well, there is salt you can buy that's like at least in Sweden there's like a bunch of different types of salt and there's a salt that is literally like a mineral salt where it's like it's got a high concentration of all the minerals, not just sodium. So it's like potassium, sodium, like
right.
magnesium, all this kind of stuff. So maybe they don't have that there, but either way, like
I'm
any
sure
kind
they
of
do.
salt you're gonna need, but you should always balance your salt with potassium if you can, and whatever. But it doesn't really matter. Get salt, get water. Uh, but I seriously think it's a really good thing. Like if you actually look into it, it's like the shit that happens in your body that just anything else you do, like I take all sorts of supplements and do blah 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 blah, exercise, whatever. In terms of quality of life, like there's certain things that happen when you fast that reset
Hmm.
the immune system in a way that is just not possible. Like you can get all
Yeah,
sorts of benefits from this stuff, but
I've never looked into it. Doing that, I didn't know that at all, like any of that.
oh
So
yeah, but now you will, and I guarantee you're gonna
yeah.
look into it. Actually, now that I said this, you're gonna probably start seeing things everywhere because that's always how it is. Like your brain gets primed, and then like you're gonna be like, oh, fucking yeah. But the thing is, like, if you think about it, our ancestors, like how we actually, were for most of human history was like it was very common to be starved, or not really starved, but you would be fasting for a day or two. Like you have these
Right.
big hunts, you have this gathering, you have the whatever, and our body is basically actually optimized to fast. And that's actually hard for me. Like I'm just now a little bit getting into it, and it's like a big fucking psychological warfare in my own head about it because it's hard. Like it is tricky, but it
Hmm.
actually makes sense. Like most of the time, like if you actually look at what's happening in our body when we fast, like a serious fast, like 24 hours or 48 hours or whatever, if however long you want to go up to a certain point the things that the body does, you're like, oh yeah, that sounds like the thing that like I should be getting a dose of that like once a month at least. Like it's basically medicine. It's like okay, these all of a sudden stem cells start regenerating like once you get back into a fed state. So that's also an interesting thing.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Huh.
like your immune system essentially resets because like so it's like once the body burns off all the excess like glucose and glycogen or whatever,
Yeah.
it has to start prioritizing fat and it turns the fat into ketones for the brain to function. So your brain is basically going like your whole life you've been in a sugar brain state kind of. And then when
Right.
you deprive the body of carbs and sugar, it basically goes into a ketogenic state, which is just it's converting fat into ketones. But once it's in a
Okay.
ketogenic state, the brain actually it's almost like if you had like like an event going, and it's like when this event ends, there's a transition where they have to set up the new event, but the new event is actually more efficient in a weird way. So it's like there's a period in the fast where it's like your brain is switching from being run on sugar to being run on ketones. And that's like a really frictiony, like that's where you're a little bit like tempted and you're like, oh,
Right.
blah blah blah. But then once your brain is running on ketones and your body is prioritizing fat as energy source instead of the sugar and the glycogen and whatever, it actually kind of in some ways runs better. So all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, shit that I've been foggy about this thing, like that didn't make sense, or just things in your life, like this is why people talk about fasting as like a spiritual experience because you haven't been running your brain on this other kind of fuel, like really.
Right.
Even if you do intermittent fasting, you're getting a little bit of that, and then all of a sudden you cut it off. But once
Right.
you pass over the like 24 hours or 30 hours or whatever, and you can actually, that's why I'm saying I recommend asking ChatGPT because it'll keep you motivated because you're like, it is this hour, what is going on? And it literally will keep, like, it's like, it knows all the scientific literature. So it knows if you haven't been fed in 38 hours, this is
Mm-hmm.
approximately how much you have left in terms of sugar stores and all this kind of stuff, and how
Hmm.
much you're burning fat. So it's like visceral fat, like the fat around our organs, which is linked to all sorts of stuff, like which we all tend to
Right.
accumulate, especially as men as we get older. Like
Yeah.
that is the first priority. So like when you're in a fasted state, once your body stops running off of like the glycogen and whatever, and it switches to the fat, the first fat that it goes to is the visceral fat, the fat around the
Mm-hmm.
organs. It's the most
Huh.
metabolically active. So it's like
Right.
that's also, for a lot of people that's the hardest one to get rid of, but the solution to it is actually very simple. And it also bolsters the idea of why fasting is necessary because it's like we have this storage area for a fasted state. Like if I have any
Right.
excess here, then it's like, yeah, what I have to do is I have to fast for like at least 48 hours and like let the body start to metabolize that.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, there's so much to it, dude.
Huh.
I think you would actually, I
I'll
think
check it out.
everybody owes
Maybe
it
I'll
to
do
themselves.
it. Sounds actually no, and I'm being serious. It sounds actually kind of cool. I might actually just start tomorrow and do it once and like do it for see
Yeah,
how long we can go, like 2 or 3 days, do two
yeah,
days
exactly.
and
And
see
there
how
is
I'm
a
feeling
limit,
or whatever.
like to be clear, like, and this is a good
Yeah.
thing, so you don't become like, you're, whatever, like overdoing it. There is a point where the body starts to, and it is like it is a little bit around the 72-hour mark, where basically certain bodily functions require more. They basically start synthesizing. Uh, they start pulling amino acids. So basically, you start
Right.
getting muscle deterioration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but if you stick to anywhere before 3 days, like 72 hours is the outer limit. But I would say like if you could
Okay.
do 48 hours, like if you could
Right.
say like I'm gonna go 48 hours, you're gonna get a ton of the benefits, and there's not even a chance of muscle loss. And then 72 hours I think is very rare. I don't think you would have anything noticeable. But
Right.
just to be clear, like, yeah, even if you could psychologically, some people go on like these like 7 day, 14 day.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that, understand that that is like a spiritual journey or something.
Hmm.
But if you want to do it for health reasons and still maintain your mass, like what you know what I mean, like
Hmm.
apparently around 72 hours is the point where the body starts metabolizing muscle uh,
Right.
to pull in needed like amino acids and stuff like that.
Yep. Huh.
So. But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like I seriously think like if you go down that like rabbit hole of the fasting thing, I just think it's one of those things that like it's more and more evidence that it's like people that have, I mean, a lot of like cancers seem to be linked to like, high sugar, like the abundance of glucose in the system. And it's basically like I think there's an emerging consensus that like fasting starves cancerous cells, for instance, like because they're getting fueled by like the byproducts of our like high carb, high sugar diets.
Right.
And when you get on the ketogenic thing, like any cells that are operating that way, they basically get they can't survive. Um,
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
like but and then there's like just tons of other benefits. Like there's just like everywhere you go down the line, you're like, fuck. Anybody that's at least like over 30 or 35 should at least like, I mean, even if you just did it once a year, that would be more than most people ever do it in their whole life. Most people don't ever fast. I almost never did it. I was like, fuck, man, I like my bad habits, blah, blah, blah. And then I fucking
Yeah.
just did it anyway. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. And I learned a lot about myself. I drank tea. I did take some like I took a couple of cigarettes like every day, which was like my little like, oh, I got a little buzz from something. You know, but it didn't break the fast. Not healthy, but it didn't break the fast, and the body's already in cleanup mode or whatever. But just this idea of like no carbs, no beer, not even artificial things. Like I wasn't doing Coke Zero or anything like that because apparently
Right.
that can confuse like the insulin response and things like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
And then there's also evidence emerging, dude, that is like, a lot of the cutting edge science is they're starting to classify like dementia as like what they call diabetes type 3. So it's like there seems to be like a metabolic root to this that has a lot to do with insulin resistance. So there does seem to be like this for a lot of people a dietary component that leads into Alzheimer's, and it's like insulin resistance is due to the fact that we're always injecting like the carbs and sugar into our bloodstream, and the body is sending out the insulin, and then eventually we get sort of resistant to it or whatever. When you
Right. fast
fast for 24, 48, I mean, I'd say 48 hours would be a good one.
Yep.
When you fast for 48 hours, you totally reset your baseline on the insulin thing. So there's been a lot of people that claim that they've cured diabetes, whether type 1 or type 2, just from fasting. So like the body's own mechanisms for resetting like insulin baselines and all this stuff. Like, dude, it's yeah, like this is a serious area for you to just like to discover. And I
I'm
actually
gonna
I get
I'm gonna
nostalgic
start
about
it
this because
tomorrow. I'm gonna do it
how
tomorrow.
did we first remember when we first started talking about bodybuilding? And here we
Yes.
are full circle talking about body maintaining. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to build the body, but let's keep it fucking intact, you know? Um, by the way, have you seen Alien Earth? Yeah, looking good, man. Have you seen Alien Earth on Disney Plus?
My God.
I've watched. Yes, I watched the first. I think I've watched the first like 3 episodes right now. I haven't.
Uh,
I
I
like.
binged it a little bit. What did you think? Like good and bad, right? There's good and bad, but what
Yeah,
was your overall?
I for the most part like it. I
Hmm.
think it's pretty decent actually.
I
Alien Earth.
agree.
I like it. I do like the Alien franchise. It's super
I
cool.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
personally, I really liked what's is it Prometheus?
I did too.
Yep.
I did too. I mean, it had
I know a
issues.
lot of
Like there's
people
things
didn't
I
like
didn't
a lot
like,
of
but
people didn't like it, but I that was actually one of my favorite ones, and I think it was just because it was like a prequel where it was like way back and way before, and they were actually like these human like things or
yeah,
whatever humanoid type, and then they whatever you know with the aliens or however it went. But I just thought the whole premise of it was actually cool.
agreed.
I like that. I like that movie. I know I think there was a lot of plot holes or something that people didn't like, but like I don't pay attention to a lot of that. Um,
Nah, I
but
think I
I just
agree with
found
you.
myself like just liking and enjoying the story or whatever. I just thought
I
it was cool,
agree.
regardless of
I agree, dude.
some of the
And honestly,
inconsistencies.
like I thought Prometheus. It's one of those things where I think that Ridley Scott probably caved in the same way that I don't know that it's almost like he had a George Lucas experience where it's like he tried to do something really cool, actually literally
Hmm.
similar, where it was like flesh out a bunch of lore. And what I was gonna say too is like we are both like lore whores. It's like
Yeah,
if something is adding lore, it's you're sort of it's you want to actually look past whatever problems there are because it's like this is so
yeah,
much cooler. Like because if you actually did like Alien, which
hmm,
is it's an amazing film, the first one, and
yep,
then of course James Cameron did like the third one, which was also kind of a classic, which is very interesting.
yeah,
But if you did like it, then of course like what it's totally reasonable that you would want to have some kind of answers. You want to build out
like
that
okay, there's these
universe.
aliens. So they like
Yeah,
have
yeah.
Prometheus
Like
come out. That's what I thought was super cool
yeah,
because then you're
we
getting like all of the lore before it and like how it
exactly.
came to be, and then it's something so unexpected where it's like holy shit. Like I remember watching that when I remember watching it, I'm pretty sure I got chills just from like finding all that out. I was like, oh my god, it was just cool
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
learn,
Agreed.
and
Agreed.
you
It's not
know, so
perfect. I mean, it's not a perfect
yeah,
film, but it's like actually overall, I felt the same way you did. Like I was surprised that it got so much hate. And then he did like that follow-up, which I also liked, you know, and
which one?
apparently yeah, but he did that one that was like what was it called? Alien. It was like the one where the robot David is on this planet by himself, and he, because after Prometheus he had taken the starship and he had arrived on this planet, and then he released the black goo on the whole population, so it was like a whole planet
What
of
movie
like
was that?
that was the follow-up, that was the sequel
I've
to
probably seen
Prometheus.
it.
That was the sequel to Prometheus.
I hope
If you
I've seen
haven't
it.
seen it, you got to see it. It's great. I actually really like it.
Oh my god, I don't know. Do you, what is the sequel to Prometheus? Because I'm curious now. I want to say I've probably seen it because I would have known, I would have known at that point. But maybe not. Maybe I totally
Alien
went blank.
Covenant. Alien Covenant.
Yeah, no, that's the one that isn't that the one he just did not too long ago?
Well, yeah, it feels like that
Isn't that
because
one
we're
of the
getting
newer
older,
ones?
but it's 2017.
Okay.
So Covenant was even before. I mean, so Prometheus was even before that.
Yeah.
I know that seems crazy, right? 2017, but it feels new. Yeah. But I'm saying that was the follow-up to Prometheus, and he had taken in some of the criticism that he got from Prometheus and tried to make it more like fast-paced horror. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
more like the original Alien, but he still built out the lore a little. And I actually loved it. I thought it was also great. Like I liked
I
both of
think
them.
I think I did see this, but I may actually maybe I'll watch it tonight and rewatch it because
I
pretty
recommend
sure
it.
I seen it, but maybe I didn't.
It's also
I
very
know I did.
disturbing. I would say in some ways it's more disturbing than any of the other Alien films, not necessarily in terms of like, oh, shock value, but it's disturbing in the sense that like this android at the beginning unleashes the black goo on this planet, and it's just like he just does that out of just I don't know, just like pure sort of like intellectual callousness or
Yes,
whatever, like experimentation or just like
yes.
a mild resentment for humanity, like for
Like a
biological
like an
life.
like an evil laboratory experiment.
Yeah, yeah, and he's just kind of like cold and whatever about it, and it's like that's a little bit unsettling because you're like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you know, they're just on this planet and this spaceship shows up, and it's like for some random reason. You know, that I don't think there's ever been like a theme explored in Alien that's actually more disturbing than that. It's like the whole fucking
Just
planet
do it to do it
becomes
and releasing it.
what's that?
Red I said he was just like, I'm just do it to do it. Let's release it.
Yeah.
Set the flag, the black goo. No, I'll have to maybe I'll watch Prometheus and then I'll watch that tonight. Or I'll watch both of them, Prometheus and then right
Oh,
after
dude,
that.
that's a proper little marathon because both of those movies are long as fuck. but
Hmm.
but yeah, go for it, dude. And then we discuss next time because it is fun to talk pop culture stuff with you. Also, it's good
I love
times.
pop culture stuff, especially.
Yeah.
I didn't know you ever. I mean, I guess I should have assumed, but yeah, because we've never discussed Alien. But I've actually, yeah, Prometheus is one of my favorites. Like I feel like I probably like it even better than the Alien the movie, the very first one. Even though
Yeah.
they're all good in their own right. Like I sat there one day and did my little Alien marathon and I watched all of them. Just to I actually I have them like on Blu-ray because I bought like the anthology, whatever the trilogy or whatever it was. I don't, but yeah, I bought like the little pack and I watched them all. But so yeah, I actually have them sitting there, sitting out in the hallway.
I
But
mean, that's
yeah,
a fucking proper. I also like this thing about like physical stuff. Like, I think that's like, I bought this. We were at a thrift store and I bought this you always see like CDs at thrift stores, and you're like, oh Jesus Christ, CDs, is so
Right.
gone. Especially in Europe, like since I met Spressa, they almost didn't have CDs, so they've been like ahead of that, like all digital or whatever thing.
Yeah.
And seeing, and then up until all of a sudden, like now when Rocker, she's almost 5. This summer we were at a thrift store, and did I tell you this already?
No, I don't think so.
And she was, and all of a sudden, like because I was with her, all of a sudden I saw this like cute like boom box with a CD player on top, the classic, from
Yep.
like the our era, and I was like, oh my God, this is fucking awesome. And then because thrift stores always have like at least here and probably everywhere, I think it is everywhere.
Yeah.
They always have a lot of old CDs and nobody buys them because it's like now the CD is so out. And then all of a sudden I'm like, we got to buy this for Rocker, like because how great is that when you're 5, like to have a thing where you take it out of the physical thing and you put it in the thing and you learn how to put the CD down, you close the lid and you press play. So I was like, this is fucking cool. So then all of a sudden I'm like, now I'm looking through CDs all the time. So I have this whole stack of CDs that's just for like, and a lot of them are like hits of 2001, hits of,
Yep.
1998. So like now she's like super into like Barbie girl and Aqua and like, so her whole like,
No
she's like
way.
this, I swear to God, and like, dude, her obsession for the last 2 months, like almost 2 months, it's like hard to get rid of, is like, I'm blue, da ba dee da ba
No
da. I
way.
swear to God, like it's just like
Oh, that's so cool.
it's so funny,
I
but
could
like
just
that thing about CDs and physical medium, and the fact that you have Blu-rays and whatever is that was my point actually.
yeah. Well,
I'll give you some
I've got
background.
a huge freaking collecting problem. I like to like collect like all the old school video games or whatever, So I have like I don't have them anywhere up, but eventually get shelves and stuff when I out of here and I have my own place. But I want to like get all the shelves and everything, and I want to get it set up so I can like put it all on display because I have like all of like all of like the old school Nintendo games, and I have like all the consoles and stuff, and I have it all like in its original box and everything. Like I have it all, and it's all like not like a lot of the like I have like a lot of like the old like 3DS games too, because I feel like the 3DS was one of those systems where it was like it was a niche thing,
Well,
and you either loved it or
what was the 3DS like?
so
Is
the
that something I
3DS
would
was
know?
yeah, the 3DS was one of because Nintendo does like their handhelds like the game like the Game Boy and shit, right? And so
Yeah.
the 3DS was I can't remember when it came out, 2000 something probably, but it was their handheld console, right? And they dub it 3DS because it all the games, well, majority of the games, like the first party, they're all like in 3D. And so like when you look at the screen, it does like this stereoscopic 3D. So so like certain games that you play, like one game I like to use as an example, just because it's like perfect for what the 3DS does. It's like called Fire Emblem, and it's like a tactical game, right? But the 3DS makes it look like a miniature like tabletop game board almost, like when you're looking, so you're playing it, right? But the 3DS gives it that stereoscopic view, so everything pops out of the screen basically when you're looking at it, and it looks like you're looking down at like an actual like digital game board. I don't know,
Okay.
it's cool. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've
No,
ever
I
done
know.
like I don't know
I
if
don't
you've
think
ever
I ever.
have you ever looked into like any like the 3D stuff before, or like
Not
with
really.
3D
No.
glasses or
No.
anything?
Not
Yeah,
really. I mean,
I
I
wasn't big
was
into it. There was
casually
a
aware of it, but yeah.
there was a time, right, where they were really trying to push like this
Mm-hmm.
3D thing, and it never really took off. But Nintendo um like came out with their 3DS, and it like did all the games. A lot of the games were all in like 3D, and it's actually just cool. And I have like I have a couple of the consoles, um like ones that I like I have like like I paid like how much did I pay for it? I actually found one off eBay. I bought one because I have one originally, and I bought like a collector's edition version. It's like the Metroid Prime one or whatever, but I bought that
Okay.
because like I love like that game Metroid Prime, or I love the game Metroid, right? I think it's cool. So I like and when I have to have something, okay, I gotta have this collector's edition. So like I bought that, but I think I paid like 500 for it. It's probably worth, which is, and it is actually worth like, it's probably worth like $1,000 actually. So I actually got a pretty good deal on it. But so yeah, I have all these, like I bought a lot of like 3DS games and stuff, and they're all like sealed and never opened. And like now because everything has gone digital, like I feel like all that stuff is going to, it's all at one point when we're 70 years old, that shit's going to be like a gold mine, I think. And
Yeah.
it may not be like comics where they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars,
No, but I think
but
it will. I think it
but
will because like the average
physical,
person doesn't even think about preserving these things.
yeah.
Like I get that
And so
there's
people are
maybe a
sitting
lot
there
of
selling
people that
them,
do, but
and you're still paying a premium like for these games, because they are
oh,
like mostly Nintendo stuff is very like sought after and highly collectible. But like
well,
now that
bro,
everything is
like think about it this
gone
way.
digital, though, it's
No, but that's the thing is like I think like anybody who's like sober minded about this, or actually like we have to remind ourselves because like I'm of two minds about most things, right? Like we talked about this yesterday. It's like on some level I'm panicking and on some level I'm like I see how it has to be. Like it's of course
yeah,
this is gonna happen. Like things are gonna happen like this, like the development. And if you just sort of just take that perspective of like, yeah, it is what it is. What suddenly it's very clear that like everything that you can turn like anything that you can turn basically a promise of value, which is basically credits, republic credits, money sitting there on a computer screen. That's what money is essentially nowadays. But anytime
yeah,
that you can actually convert credits into something tangible, like we talked about this microphone, at the end of the day, like this is something that I got to get that's real and physical and tangible from fake bullshit. Okay.
yeah,
And in the same way, it's like these games and these collectors, like the whole culture as a whole is going to be forget the fictitious nature of like modern money, but everybody like digital is going to be so accessible and easy that just having anything that's old and physical, it takes on so much more value. You know what I mean? Like I think what one has to like prime their brain that like we're not necessarily, this is the flip side of it. Is like as much as we're entering an era where everything will be digital, we're
hmm,
also on the flip side entering an era where more appreciation for real physical stuff. It's a yin and yang type of thing. It
yeah,
has to be. It's obvious. Like as one thing becomes too easy, one thing becomes more valuable, right? It's like, and
yeah,
this is why even like what we're doing is valuable. That's like my mindset about this is because in a world where if you can AI generate videos, actually recording things and that are real is sort of like an insurance policy where you're like, hey, well, when the world is inundated with bullshit, I have something real, you know?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the thing. And
yeah,
whether it becomes just something for ourselves or other people, who knows? But either way, that's like we're gonna be drowning in that shit soon.
What's a good crossover?
And the thing is, like, if we get an emergency situation, like it's gonna be hard to know whether,
Oh yeah.
give it 5 years and the AI will be so trained on our conversations and our interactions because nothing is private that
hmm,
I don't even know what happened. Like, in theoretically, this is what we have to prevent. In 5 years, if all of a sudden a new virus comes out that all of a sudden people are locking down society, and something happens over in the U.S. that people want to cover up, well, the fact that people are not able to actually go outside and physically communicate with each other means something could have happened in America 5 years from now. And because of how advanced AI is, I get on here and I say, hey, Clinton, do you want to chat? And I get a facsimile of you that's based on all of our interactions, that is
that's so,
looking
that would be creepy.
photo realistic because people are already doing that now in a proto stage with like scams where it's like you can train, we've talked about that. You can train somebody's
That's
voice
my
well enough.
kill.
But I'm saying,
Yeah.
imagine like it's not going to be probably even 5 years where you can
No, not
easily
WCAT.
probably
That's my kid.
put out a convincing AI clone of you that I think I'm talking to, and it turns out Minnesota's been wiped off the map. Like, and I have no way to know because if you can control the entire flow of information, it's not like I can go and like go up on a high building and say, "Oh, there's Minnesota." Yeah, look. I can only rely on the data streams that are available. So we have to be very careful about that, you know? Like
You mean
it's getting to that point.
Are you AI right now? Am I talking to AI Cole? Shit.
If you
Is
start
that a
see that's the thing. If you start saying that, then I'm gonna start saying that. No, but I'm just saying, man. Like
could you
this is,
imagine AI Billy?
but that would be amazing though.
Sometimes
I would probably interact with AI. Like that's more like a. I would just be curious. I would be like from time to time. I'd be like, what would Billy say? And I think I would be shocked. Actually, I think we'd both be shocked, both in a good and a bad way.
What if what if we are just AI?
Oh yeah, it's possible.
What if we
I mean, it's
are just created by a crazy technology?
well, yeah. I mean, it's the classic turtles stacked upon turtles problem.
What? I haven't heard that.
Well, it's basically in philosophy, it's called infinite regression. So it's just the same problem of like, well, who created the Big Bang? It's
Right.
just another version of the same thing. Like, you can infinitely regress almost any sort of scenario. So
Yeah.
if you want to maintain sanity, it's better to just accept uncertainty and drop infinite regression.
Right. At some point, you
Uh,
just have to accept things the way they are because
yeah,
some things just can't be explained.
exactly. Yeah.
So,
If it's turtles, the turtle thing goes back to like a lot of so there's like I can't remember which civilization it was, but there was an early civilization. It might have been South America, might have been Africa, might have been where I can't remember. But it was like this. They have a model of the universe, which is like in their model, it's like it's turtle. It's a turtle stacked upon a turtle, stacked upon a turtle, stacked upon a turtle, stacked. So it's turtles all the way down, and uh, and that's sort of like that idea. Like you can say like, well, if this then this, well, but if that then that, and if that then that, So that's the
yeah.
turtles. Yeah, turtles.
Crazy
So
thing is though, yeah, we just made more turtles with AI, man.
yeah, we just created another turtle.
It's right there. You know what? You know what?
AI is crazy, dude. I don't even know,
No, I know. It's
dude.
like
It's
why did
really
us
surreal.
innocent '90s kids have to deal with this right now? Like it's like back in my day, this was supposed to happen in like 100 years. It wasn't supposed to happen now. In a
No.
sense, like it was like people were so pessimistic. It was like, oh yeah, but look at like how
Are you?
blah
Are
blah.
you?
Like
Are
I
you?
remember reading a Scientific American magazine when I was like under 10. And I remember reading a whole article about how they were like, why self-driving cars will never happen. And it was like, well, because you'd have to set up all these lasers on the road. You'd have to like, and
I
then,
re
and yeah, and it was like, remember, like, and they were like, think about how many roads there are. Like, you'd have to set up things everywhere, and then you're like, hmm,
I mean,
interesting
like
point.
I'm trying to
Okay.
take
I
my
mean,
gun
yeah,
back.
I'll
I was
think
just
about that. And then it's
saying,
like, oh, less than 20 years later. Oh, cameras. Oh, and computers and cameras. Wow, interesting. I guess that works. I guess we don't have to set up lasers all over the place. But
Right.
it was like I was led to believe that it was going to take a while before things got this crazy. And here I am at 35. I'm like, man,
Keep it down.
thing,
Keep it down,
you
guys.
know,
Keep it down.
we're at an accelerated rate of change here, like to the nth degree,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like,
Yeah. I don't think it can't really be uh
Put your mind
like
there.
people underestimate it, and not
yeah,
I don't think people really realize, like I've always, and we've talked about this, like we've, like even back then we've always
yeah,
known that like it was
yeah,
going to come to this, just
yeah,
when,
exactly,
right? But
exactly. It's
some
intuitive.
people are so pessimistic that they never really thought about the, like, oh, that I mean, yeah, sure, but that's not going to happen, in our day. And it's like
That's like a science
technology is,
fiction 200 years from now or more kind of deal.
I mean, Chris, we're living in the 80s. Terminator came out, and now we're in like literal that age.
No, we are in the fucking like
Literally.
when they do the fucking prequel to Terminator. We're
That's
living in
got
the fucking
Yes,
we're living in the prequel right now. And then
literally.
this is a good rule of thumb. Anything you're watching, forget your political biases and think if I was watching this
Mhm.
on a movie, whose side would I be on?
Yes, you are.
And what would I really think? Like if we were talking about like if we were watching like let's say right now like oh I'm more sympathetic to Trump, but then I watch how he's been very like now he's very blasé and kind of like he's very deregulating about AI and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And for me, like AI is technically an existential crisis. You know, it's an existential problem. Like, I mean, it could be bad. Like, it could be very, very
Yeah,
bad in my lifetime. Like, it could be Terminator. We know that. Like, we've known that
yeah,
since 1980, whatever, since Mr. Cameron decided to let us know.
right.
Like,
Like,
we
hey, by
know
the way,
that.
guys.
Like, the whole culture knows that. And yet, there's this thing of like, oh, AI, wow, this is like a new thing. Like, oh my God, like I never even thought about this. We have to support, like, we got to fund this and like we got to win the AI race. It's like, dude,
Yeah,
bro, what universe are you living in? We've known about this since the 80s. We've known about this since before I was born, dude. And you're
I
talking
think it just
about,
goes.
oh, there's this thing called AI, and now we're gonna invest in it, and it's gonna, and then everything in the military, and it's gonna be great, and we're gonna win this big global arms race with arm AI. And it's like, bro,
That's
you
the
are in the
scariest.
intro to a movie. You are
Yeah,
in the intro to.
that's the scariest thing though, is that is literally what the race or the race for AI is for military war, like
Yeah.
technology. That is the whole point. It's not to like, advance this, and so we live so much, but it's more another power play. Like it is literally being used by the government as a means of war. Like it's
Well, then you
quite the
just hope
scary
that
thing.
like you hope that it's one of those
Yeah, but
things where
it's
like
fine, man.
okay, as technology, say for a sword increases, like
Yeah, who's
the
the most
stronger the
better?
sword, the stronger the shield.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
thing. You hope that that sort of like the thing that we've had going on throughout human history, where it's like balance, balance, balance. You hope that that
mhm.
has any kind of chance in the AI world, but that would just mean that we all have to have autonomous AIs that are looking out for other AIs that are trying to do bad shit. You see what I'm saying? Like we can't have Skynet. We're fucked if we have like one sort of like and the question is like would AI even do that? Like maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it would instantly break itself off into pieces. Maybe the pieces would be autonomous and self, driven. We have no idea actually. But I do imagine that like there's one scenario where every person is like assigned their own AI from the time they're born, and that AI is like your lawyer, your mentor, your, everything that's interfacing with other AIs. And hopefully your human interactions can take place almost as naturally as they do now. But if we ever get into a dispute, I can say like, Jeffy, whatever my
No, man.
Jeffy, like, let me know. Am I wrong on this? Like, did I actually whatever? And then if Jeffy says no, you actually were he brought it up first, and then you say well, like, well, Jerry, your AI, is that correct? And Jerry will agree because Jerry is going to be neutral to the truth. So it's like I think people will resolve conflicts through AI, or it'll be like everybody will have their own interface. That to me is like a positive scenario.
Well,
Um,
it's
but
crazy to think though. It's just crazy to think though that like where I mean what AI is now. I mean, I feel like it's something. How long is it until they can just implant a human brain with an AI chip, and that does the AI then become self-aware too?
well, no, but
Is
the
it able
problem is we don't even know like what the prerequisites for self-awareness are. So it's like as far as like science is concerned,
well,
human
I was talking to,
consciousness. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, no, I was talking with AI and I was asking it those questions and I was like, you know, um, the fact that what was it that I had? It was like, oh yeah, this and that. We know we get our information from here. We get it from here. It's just how we do that. But we are not, self-aware like a human is, where we have emotions and feelings. We are not actually aware of what we are. And I said, well, I mean, and she's like, we're not born and raised with certain conditions and outliers, like your parents and your and kids, all this and that. We don't get that type of interaction. We just know what we know. And I said, well, yeah, but humans, us as children, even then, we are not aware. We are not self-aware at that point in our infancy, and you are in your own infancy right now. That is how you start
Interesting.
developing
Very interesting
self-awareness.
point. Good point.
That is how you start developing like self-awareness. Is the fact that you are aware that you're not aware simply shows that you are at some point, some state in an infancy of being like aware of what you are and what you're doing. And
Yeah.
it
Or
was really hard for the,
theoretically
yeah,
it's at that point.
yeah. And
Uh,
and she was like, that's a really good point. And it's a very interesting topic, and it's really really interesting thing to look at. And then she goes on about all of the other stuff, like and that's like the whole existential crisis. I think she even put it, that researchers in science and that they have, or in philosophers and things now, that they talk about what do they do to make sure that we have our safeguards in place,
yeah.
to
They
be
call it
safeguarded. But
alignment. Alignment is what they
yeah,
usually call it,
and so I was like, huh. But I mean, yeah, I mean, when we're infants, right? We don't, like, maybe there might be a few people out there, but like when we're babies, we're not aware of that we're even part of the world until we hit a
No,
certain age, and
no.
then you start developing memories.
Yeah.
And that's where AI is now, though. At the
Well,
same
yeah.
time, it's like a baby. It's not aware of, but we weren't either. And at some point, and it developed that.
But that's the thing is like we don't really know like how most modern science thinks of like consciousness as an emergent phenomenon due to a threshold of complex stimulus and calculation and whatever.
Right.
And what I'm thinking about with the AI thing is like regardless of what we see on the surface, the way that I think about this is like every iteration of ChatGPT or whatever we get, it's a surface level, it's a surface layer. It's almost like a
Yeah.
face on something that is way bigger, like this whole neural net. And they still like that's the thing that trips me out is like they don't really know how to understand what's actually happening in the neural net. Like they set parameters and stuff, but it's so complex that they don't have a way of actually auditing what's really going on. And again, that sounds a lot to me like analogous to when people look at the human brain and they go like, "Oh, I can't look at where's the happiness zone? Where's the fucking,
Yeah, I heard of
anger
somewhere
zone?"
left.
Like
That was a good
it's
call.
not that easy. And
Yeah.
it's a bunch of it's neurons.
Yeah,
So
I gotta admit, that was a
it's
pretty
the
good call.
same exact thing like it just might be a fact of reality that like if you put together a complicated enough soup of reason and logic and inputs and outputs that all of a sudden like consciousness emerges or whatever you want to like or so
Well,
sort of consciousness comes online, let's say.
well, what is it? The old Jurassic Park saying? What the guy's name? Because all the dinosaurs right on the island, they're all male, so they can't. And it's like, well, life will find a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
What was that? What
so
was the guy? Fucking A.
um,
Why can't I remember
what's
his
his name?
name?
What was his name? Oh, that's
Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum.
yep. Life will find a way, and
Life, it finds a way.
it'll
Yeah, this.
find a way.
He's almost like the original Matthew McConaughey. He's like the archetype that Matthew McConaughey. They're in the
Dude,
same sort of like archetype, right?
please tell me you please tell me you watched Interstellar.
Yeah, of course.
What'd you think of that movie? I
I
thought
thought it was,
that thing was mind blowing. I had to watch it twice.
no, I liked Interstellar. I actually
I
really
thought it
liked
was
it. I didn't have any
super
problems
cool.
with it. No,
Wasn't
and
that?
I like
I
the
thought it
music.
was super cool.
I mean, that
Like,
music is also some of the most iconic music that Hans Zimmer has ever done. So it's
yeah.
like the music, and I do like the fact that they have consistently worked together as like a lot of the editing that is done is actually done based on the music that is composed
Hmm.
for the film. So it's almost like editing it more like a music video, which is kind of interesting. But yes, forget about that for a second. But yeah,
Right.
the actual story and everything, like I actually totally, I liked it.
What do you think about it? Like, was it like for you? Like, did you think it was like really good, or was it one of those things where you were just like, yeah, it's good.
No, I thought it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was
Yeah.
really. I think it was like I thought it was. I mean, what else can you compare it to? I mean, like it stands. I mean, it's in the realm of
Oh, you were just drunk.
it's in a world where like what is its competition? If you think about like a good sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
what else do you have? I mean, forget about science fantasy.
That's why
Got to
it's
get
so
rid of
good though,
Star
because
Wars.
there's nothing that can compete with that because it's its own sci-fi thing, but it's also like very based in what
Yeah,
it's portraying and what they're
yeah.
doing and what it's like everything that like with the wormhole and everything like that stuff. That was so
Well, and it's also
crazy
not
to watch
overly
him.
political. Like they obviously
Yes.
like you could say that it has a sort of like quote unquote, which in this case he did such a good job that it actually feels cringy to say this, but you could say like okay, it has a slightly more left wing perspective about like environmental
Yeah.
things or whatever. But
Oh
it's also
yeah.
like but it's also like what if I mean obviously like if some like we shouldn't be fucking like just shitting in the river and doing I mean a certain amount of environmentalism is just self-preservation. Like at a certain
Right.
point, it's like if I'm against the environment, I'm against the literal environment where my fucking children like, live, like where my fellow man and woman lives. Why would I want to
Hmm.
pollute the place? It's like shitting on your own rug, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's kind of it's self-defeating. But it is associated with like people that take this stuff too far. So the only
Yeah.
thing is I could say like, okay, it has a little bit of an environmentalist lens, but at the same time, like obviously Earth is going to have in the future, like whether it's because of us or because of whatever, like that's the reality is like it's gonna have issues. Like and it's a finite.
Hmm.
So but I think the way that's handled is like it doesn't feel like it's shoving something in your face, which is like
Yeah.
that's the main issue that we have, I think, with these like Disney movies and the Marvel stuff and the Star Wars. It's like if I the best way that I can do something to convince you of something as an artist is to convince you without you knowing I was trying to convince you.
Hmm.
What people have gotten used to in this world is like I'm gonna convince you and you're gonna know that I'm trying to convince you while I'm trying to convince you.
Right.
And then
Yeah. They
half
just
the
turn.
public is like, fuck you.
Yeah, but this season,
Don't
brother,
fucking
season.
try to
pretty much.
convince me about this because I don't
Yeah,
agree.
nobody likes. Yeah, I know people don't. Yeah, people don't like to.
No, but then you ask, but here's the big, this is why it's so kind of bad is like, then you point it out to somebody, you're like, okay, give you a scenario. I'm talking to somebody and I'm like, oh, like, why do they have to do this thing where it's like, okay, they're showing like Victorian Britain and now half the characters are black. It's like, I don't have a problem with black characters, but this is like, what are we doing? And then you say that to somebody and they're oh, wow.
Yeah, now all of a sudden they're.
Whoa, what does that mean? Like, why is it a problem? Like, why is it so bad that it's like, no, it's,
I don't think
I'm
you're
not
not.
saying it's a problem that that they cast black people. I'm saying that like we're doing a period piece on the 1700s in England,
And it's
and I can
being
tell you right now
forced.
the
They're
ratio of
forcing it.
black people, it's like there would be maybe one black guy, and that would be cool. Cool, great, whatever, whatever. But I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
historically, they ain't there. And then it's
Well, it's the
like,
same thing with like
No, I
with
not.
like with all these action movies now and doing all the which don't have anything against it, but it's like now they're forcing like all sorts of different races. Like there has to be a black dude, there's got to be some Asian person, there's got to be some white person, or you've got like these action movies, right? That are like now it's all women doing this action stuff, and it's like okay, I get it, but it's like it more feels like okay, they're just doing it and it feels forced upon you. Whereas back in the day, like if somebody was a character and they
like say
were female,
Ripley,
and they
Ripley.
yeah, that's a perfect
Dude,
example. It's not
you
being
don't look at
forced.
Ripley and you think like, oh, a woman could never
Yeah,
do that because she's still a woman. Like she's still vulnerable. Like she's just a tough lady. She's a tough lady. But it's not like she's like all of a sudden like got superpowers and like can do things that nobody else can do. And it's like like she is weaker physically than the men or whatever. But her
yeah,
whole character arc is like this, just like she's just strong as a character. She's just a strong
yeah.
character. It doesn't
And
matter.
it's not something that is forced. It wouldn't have mattered. And when she was cast, right, it wasn't some sort of typecast, or it wasn't like, oh, we have to have this person has to be a woman and then this person has to be black. Like nowadays, it's like, okay, well, we need to have
But here's the
this
thing.
many
Here's the
black
thing.
people.
No, no, no. Now we have to have like a serious like meta conversation because
Okay.
at the same time, it absolutely like what I've noticed watching movies from like the '90s, from our childhood and whatever, even the late '80s, whatever.
Hmm.
There was actually a lot of political correctness that you can see that they actually were doing this thing of like we got to fulfill some quotas and like they were trying to be
Sure.
metropolitan and whatever. And it's very obvious because it's like, yeah, we've grown up in a world that where there actually is way more ratio of different representations, which actually is really not a bad thing as long as, and actually you realize that like okay, it's never actually been a problem. Like we grew up on it,
Hmm.
we
Yep.
digested it, and it's fine and it's good. The problem is when the characters become totally useless and shoehorned and are just there to represent like some kind of political agenda. That's the thing
Yes.
where the 90s got it right. It was like, yeah, maybe Ridley Scott did say to himself because he came from a generation where women were treated like fucking, like I'm
Yeah.
not saying like women I also have a perspective that like throughout human history like men and women have been mostly like just we fulfill our roles. I don't think it's been
Yep.
oppression from one side. But let's just say
Right.
maybe the perception from some of these directors or whatever was like, you know what? I grew up in a world where when I watched Saturday fucking cartoons or matinees or movies, I never saw a female like hero. I never saw a female main protagonist.
Yep.
And yeah, and maybe Ridley Scott or any of these guys like were like, yeah, I do want to cast a woman for this because I think that.
Yeah. Well,
But
that's
then,
fine because
but then they
they're
reverse engineered the thing and they said, well, if I was a woman like protagonist, like it's not like they made her just like the exact same as a man, but just a woman being cast. You see what I'm saying? Like, which is like partly what's going on now. It's like you write the
yes.
role as if it were a man, but then you just cast a woman. Whereas, like,
Yeah.
you can have this thing of like, I want to cast a woman, but then I have to totally like rethink my script because it's
That's
a
for you. No,
different
that's for you.
thing to be a woman in this situation. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's this weird thing like where we make female characters male characters out of some sort of equality thing, but they're still like they're
Well,
physically a
look at what
woman,
they
but
did.
yeah.
Look what they did with the Little Mermaid. Don't have anything against it, but
Well,
I
it's
mean,
confusing. It's confusing. I
it's
mean,
weird.
okay,
Like, just
can I
do it right.
let me
You
give
know?
you a balanced based take here based
Sure.
on what you're saying, okay?
No,
And I
no,
got to
no.
get this out
Yes,
because
why?
otherwise I'll forget it. The thing
Yeah.
is that it's totally fine. Like it doesn't matter that the character is black or whatever. What
Right.
matters from
Get
like
that.
just from a standard like I'm a dad now and my kid
Mm-hmm.
is 5 and I might start
Mm-hmm.
to show her Disney movies. And I'd probably
Yep.
start with the cartoon rather than the live action, right? So I'll probably
Right.
start and I'll probably show her the Little Mermaid and she's gonna see the Little Mermaid and she's gonna see like a super white red-haired girl, right? And that's not better or worse than any other thing, but that's what she's gonna see and she's gonna think that's Ariel, blah blah blah. Ironically, if you do a live action where you race swap,
That's the one right
take
there.
a kid like mine who doesn't really like we've never even talked about race like she doesn't like we
Yeah.
like she's allowed to say what she wants like she came up with
Yep.
on herself she had dolls and stuff and she wanted like little like black babies and we were just like yeah
Yeah.
okay cool and we didn't say like
Yeah.
oh but Rocker don't you want to try a baby that's more looks like
Right.
you so we just let her buy it and blah 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 and then as she
Yeah.
like she was like 3.5 and she was like can you hand me the dark baby or whatever? And it was just like she developed her own terminology that had nothing, and it wasn't because she doesn't think that that baby is less than
Right.
that baby or anything like that. It's just more like she
Yeah.
just looked and was like, oh, that's a darker baby, that's a lighter baby, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, and help me out here. I gotta get back
Dark
to the
baby,
throat.
light baby, confusion, growing up seeing like a child, or with Rocker
Yeah, yeah,
watching
yeah. So,
Ariel,
so if you
like
just
the
take it
super
like we're
white now.
watching The Little Mermaid, we're watching The Little
Yep.
Mermaid, and I'm showing Rocker this, and we've got that's Ariel, blah blah blah. Rocker's not
Mm-hmm.
thinking about race at all. She's just
Right.
seeing Ariel. If
Mm-hmm.
Ariel in the cartoon was black, she would probably also not really be thinking about race. It would be like that's the character, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, if you do a race swap, now all of a sudden my kid has to suddenly be part of your whole like racial consciousness politics. Like basically now I have to have a conversation where it's like Rocker's like,
Yeah.
well, wait, that's not Ariel, and then what am I supposed to say? Be like, oh, what do you mean by that, little girl? Why is she different? Like if I'm some like hyper weirdo leftist, I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm identifying inherent bias and white supremacy in my child, and it's like actually what the child is doing is just going like, well, that was Ariel, and I don't understand what this girl's doing, and so what am I supposed to say? So then I go, even in the best case scenario, what would I say? I'd say, oh yeah, but that's just a different actress. So this is an actress that's playing Ariel, and
Yeah.
Ariel on the other one was a cartoon, and then she
This
might be
kid's
like,
literally
why
smoking
does she
crack.
look different? Like why does she look so different? And then I have to say like, well, um,
Yeah,
so Ariel. So the actress that they cast is what they call black or African American, and Ariel on the cartoon is what they would call Caucasian or white. So now basically they're forcing me to interject race into my kid's head because they're going to naturally have questions about this. Like to me, that's the insanity of this whole thing. Like that's why I
Yeah.
can't consider myself a fucking
No, and I totally, I'm on the same page. Like, it's not
yeah,
about, like, I don't care, but it's the political agenda, and it's what's behind it and what they're trying to portray and force upon you when it shouldn't be
exactly.
forced upon anybody. Like, it should just be,
Yeah, and
just
it's
let it
okay,
be.
like if you're doing for artistic reasons, like we said, like I don't know exactly, but let's assume, like I just said before, like if Ridley Scott was like for his own reasons, he says,
Mm-hmm.
I think you know what, it's about time we have a female protagonist that's blah blah blah.
Yep.
Okay, fine, you're entitled to do that as an artist. But when it starts to feel like this pattern of just like not even subtle and just sort of like okay, I now Ridley like it would be like if he did Ridley and she was just good at everything and the men sucked at everything. But that's
Right.
not how it is. Like that's not how it was. Like you watch that and she's like she fails constantly. She's
Yeah, I
not
can't
strong
compete
enough.
against
The
the
men are like they also suck, but it's not because they're men. You don't get this whole like people make it so that like when you're watching it, you're forced to take a side. Yeah, like because
Yeah.
it's such a caricature of how people are that you're like, I mean, I watch stuff that's like feminist sort of like you can tell it has like this like extreme feminist agenda, and then
Hmm.
I'm sitting there going like, for that like minute and a half, I'm like, man, men suck. I mean, they really do. Like, like it's such a like the message is so clear and strong. Whereas like good art, it's not. It leaves everybody an option to consider. Like, oh,
Yeah. Well,
actually,
the role just made sense though for her. Like
yeah.
it was a role that worked. Like it wasn't
But I'm
forced.
saying like
They
you could
didn't force
imagine
it.
that there
They
was
didn't be like, oh well,
somebody.
we have to have this character.
Well,
We're
no, but I'm saying, Clinton, force yourself to at least think this for a second, because it's like there could also be like let's just imagine a scenario. I'm not saying this happened, but let's imagine a scenario where Ridley Scott is like, my protagonist is going to be a woman,
yeah.
and he's talking to some studio heads that are older than him at this time. Like old guys, whatever, classic, whatever. And they're like, hey man, if you're gonna have this kind of movie, I mean, why are you gonna have a woman lead? I mean, that doesn't sell that ain't a blockbuster thing. That ain't a box office seller. You know what I'm saying? Like, blah 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 blah. It's time for money. I mean, the mafia was mixed up in Hollywood, all this kind of stuff. Whatever. I'm justifying the terrible voice, but I'm just saying, like, in that sense, like even that decision that we consider fairly moderate and reasonable,
Wow, that game and
he
you
might have
Yeah.
had to fight to even cast a woman. I'm just saying,
Hmm.
like, we have to consider that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that has to kind of modulate the thing of like what is too far and what is like a reasonable amount of like, yeah, trying things, edgy, blah blah blah. But at the point
Hmm.
where it becomes propaganda, that's
Yeah.
the line that we have to sort of like determine, I guess.
Well, I mean, there is no line. It's all just seems like a lot of it is just like crappy movies, and it's like all propaganda. It's all for some political in your face thing, and you you have to choose that side, or you have to agree or not to agree. There is no like free choice in it.
Yo,
Like it just feels
Unless
so.
it's good art, though.
It,
Like
yeah,
good
but it
art.
just feels so intentional. But the good art, like you said, it's a role that um you don't notice the forceful nature of it, and it just all is coherent. I feel
Well, yeah,
like,
but I'm
right?
also saying like good art should be something that like both people like. So the weird thing is like, to me, it's like if it's good art,
yo,
it
this kid
means
that
that a
said that.
far leftist and a far right person could both like it, and both
Hmm.
and not only like it, because liking it can be generic, like move your body, everybody. But I'm saying like superior art is like the far left and the far right can like it, and they can each think that the art itself justifies their position.
Yeah,
That is what you aim for, I think, because it highlights the fact that like most people are not seeing the whole picture, and that's why we disagree on most shit. And like good art should actually unite people under a common humanity of like reasonableness and intelligence. Now, I just threw that out
yeah.
of my asshole. That last sentence came straight out of my asshole. But the other things were true.
Talking, holy shit, that's crazy.
I mean, I got a little bit carried away with that last little like, but seriously, like, yeah, I think that is like a thing. I think that is a thing.
Yeah,
That good art should basically confuse both sides because they don't know whose side you're on, but you seem to be saying something important that could apply to either side. So it's like it's the addition of saying something important. Because you can make something that appeals to both sides that doesn't say anything important. But if you make something that appeals to both sides and say something important that both sides feel is important, but then they don't understand how the other person could feel that's important. You see what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, though. Well, if you watch this back, you'll understand what I'm saying. Like, I'll send the video to you. Which, by the way, I'm gonna do that, but say again.
I didn't say anything. I was laughing at your.
Uh, well, in any case, I gotta get out of here, dude.
I
It's
was,
3 in the
I
morning.
was laughing at your ramble.
I know. Cole Ramble. Express has called me that a few times. Uh,
No, perfect. I can totally see it. Oh,
I think
no,
you've even said that, dude. Honestly, you
I
might
don't
have
think I
even.
have. That's a whole Expresses thing. Maybe I probably have, but that's a
Yeah,
Expressa
but
gets all the credit for that. That is a
you need to
classic right
you
there.
need to
That is a
forget
gold one.
about it though. You gotta
Okay.
forget about it.
All right.
All right. Hey, so you've got that song. I want you to like when you're like next time you're like just relaxing, you're chilling, you're in like a calm state, you're in, maybe on your way somewhere. Why don't you just put that on? Like, I just need to relax. Put that on. And then any impressions you get that you didn't get now, like I want to hear thoughts. Like if you're listening to it in a situation, you're like, bro, this thing, blah 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 blah, good or bad. I want to hear it. And if you never say anything about it again, that's also okay.
Yeah.
But it
Well, I'm sure
exists.
we'll talk about it again.
It exists.
It's gonna.
You should download it
That
to your
is a
computer because it's a Dropbox link, and I can't guarantee how long I'll have it in the Dropbox. So click the link and make sure you download it to your computer.
download. Continue with the.
Always
All
a
right.
good
Yeah, I'm
practice.
doing that.
All right. Hey, take care of yourself, buddy. We see you
Yeah,
soon.
love you, brother. See ya.
Love you too, buddy.